Hi class, we're team number 4. We're composed of my partners Julio, Oscar, Pavel, Martin, and I'm Gerson. And we're going to talk about our PBL. In this PBL, people start a short conversation about a certain formula, and it's our job to manage this situation and challenge this mathematical problem.
PBL and solution. We need an order to solve this problem, so we use the PBL model to set up our ideas. The first step is realize and analyze the problem scenario. As we know, this formula is given by a book of probability, and a group of students need to understand that formula and how it is useful. So the first thing we must know is research about this formula, what and every criteria. So we will know better this formula, and we are allowed to explain it better. The second step is to list what we just know. So we know that this formula is used to know the probability of finding something in a whole space, in a whole universe. We also know that this probability is equal to 1. We must explain what all the variables are used, and if it is true that this formula works to every value of f of x. It is asked to explain the probability, properties, condition, and applications. We know that this formula may be an improper integral because the integration intervals are close to a real number.
Develop a problem statement. The problem in this situation is to find the property of the formula we have for the conversation. With this information, we're going to explain the meaning of the formula to the student and help him clarify his questions.
I got the number 4 and number 5. That is, the number 4 is what is needed. We needed some terms like what is probability distribution, what is an aleatory variable, the properties from a aleatory variable, what's an continuous aleatory variable, what's the density function, what's the difference between an aleatory variable and a continuous variable, and some other terms. And the number 5 is the list of actions, solutions, or hypotheses. The actions and the things that we did to back up what we knew was visiting some teachers, specialists on the topic, to help us develop this formula. We did some research on library, we looked through books and some videos. We did some research on the web to develop this formula, and we watched some videos on YouTube and some other stuff like asking older people from the school that knew better than us these topics. And that's it.
Analyze information. In our research, we found that lowercase f of x is equal to the density function, and it has two properties. The first one is that f of x has to be equal or higher than 0, and the second is the integral of our scenario PBL. As long as the derivative exists, it is called the density probability of the function for the random variable x. Also, we found that the probability density is just the ratio of the accumulated probability.
Hi, so in topic 7 we got the present findings, and we talk about an example. We all know that all continuous random variable x have a probability density function, like this one, and this means that the probability that x is between a and b, or a point like in this chart, is integrating from a to b. So in this example, in this figure, we're going to call this the figure number 1. The figure number 1 shows the graph of a model of the probability density function for a random variable x. It's defined as the weight in kilograms of a dog in Mexico. So if we can see here in this chart the probability that the weight of a dog is between 10 and 11 kilograms is into this area in this chart.
After we study the topic and we take a quick evaluation to the formula, we have found some examples of where we can use probabilities. One of them is the following: to calculate a machine's timeouts and time failures. Well, the second example of this is we can use probability to help create financial projections for the companies. The third one is manufacturing business, where we can use probability to determine the cost-benefit ratio.
Conclusion. In order to help the student to understand the formula he found, we follow a succession of steps that help us at the process of the information search for the realization of our goal. With this technique called PBL model, we put on practice several abilities in different fields, plus the fomentation of teamwork and the capacity of identify the proficiency of each member of the team in order to select the best role for each one. Altogether, the actions taken makes us reach the determined goal, besides of giving us the variety of experience that help us improving a diversity of skills.